Hello, friends. Don't you love it when you hit start on something and then all of a sudden your body decides it needs to cough? Yeah, that just happened. Hey, welcome to Friday and to the new and upgraded Righteous Rebels page. For those of you who might be in a little bit of confusion, yes, this was Smear the Fear. It has been for a couple of years, and the upgrade finally happened. I've been talking about it for a long time, switching the name, changing the branding, and it has happened, which is why we're on here. I say we. I don't have multiple personalities. There is a guest in the green room, which I'm really excited to share with you again today, because this is someone that you've met. A few weeks back, we did a live and unscripted podcast interview. And in that interview, we teased you a little bit that you would be seeing more of this person, because we were going to do some collaborations. Well, we certainly have decided to do some collaborations, and I'm just stoked. I'm stoked for what has been taking place the last few weeks. It has been a whirlwind, like literal whirlwind of creation and magic and collaboration and uh, trying to figure out what's in the other person's head. Like, you know a little something about that, right? You guys know what that's like. So, without any further ado, we're just going to jump right into it. I'm going to bring, please excuse the cough, friends. I'm going to bring Leah on the screen. There she is. Good morning, Leah.
Good morning, Jen. Are you okay?
Yeah, I think just all the excitement has just got things moving and it's just sticking right here, right here. Um, oh my gosh! Welcome back to Righteous Rebel. No longer
so
Smear the Fear. It's exciting. Okay, so really the purpose of this broadcast this morning, I almost said live and unscripted. We are live, and really it is unscripted. I don't know where I'm going with that, so we'll just stop right there. The purpose of this is to introduce you, the Righteous Rebel community, to Leah. And because you're going to be seeing a lot more of her. She will be contributing to the page. Any of the amazing graphics and things that you see, that came from her. She takes the stuff, they're like mush and things that are rolling around in my head, and turns them into amazing pictures and helps make it a reality. And so I'm stoked because for me personally, if I'm going to make mistakes and look dumb, I like to have a buddy doing it. Leah has agreed to be that buddy. No, to really go through the messy parts of creation and to muddle through it together and then to see what comes out on the other side has been an amazing process for me. Leah can tell you for herself what that's been for her, but I know that in this whole entrepreneurial space and creating, it gets tiring, and wanting to give what you have to you out there who are watching. And there's just so many parts and pieces, and it's kicked my butt, friends. It's kicked my butt. And so I'm stoked to be able to have someone to collaborate with who has similar dreams and visions, a different skill set in a lot of ways, same skill set in a lot of ways, and to be able to put those brains and those intelligence and those magic and creativity together and just see what happens. So with that, Leah.
Take a breath, Jen. Take a breath.
Welcome. Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, for those of you who don't know, you can go back and watch the live and unscripted. When did we do that? Beginning of November, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go back and watch that, because Leah was so brave. Like she really embodied the be bold, be brave, be a rebel tenets, and just dove right into like really good stuff about life and about herself. So I would encourage you to go back and watch that. But today, Leah, I'm curious to know why you want to be here. Like, what made you decide to jump into this crazy circus of Righteous Rebel and all of the things? And maybe I'm not even asking the right question, but Curious
That's
minds want to know.
okay. That's the beauty of live and unscripted. It's you just never know what's going to fly out of your mouth, Jen. And I think that's the fun part for me. I very much read things on an energy level, just what feels good, what doesn't. And I love that you talk about the muddy mess of creation, because it is. And you know, you can have all these big greens.
Yeah,
Big
see, you never know what's going to come out of your mouth.
You can have all these big dreams, but you don't realize how many moving parts. And because we're creative, we're always having more and more and more ideas, and that means more and more things to do. And then the beginning ideas kind of fall off and you forget about them because you're chasing another idea. And I just think what's been really cool about this collaboration is that we're seeing things come to its end, like not its end, but like you see it come to life and you can build the next piece. So something gets finished and then you move on to something else, or there's still stuff that's kind of in the middle, but that's the fun of it. And it's been really nice to have just someone to keep you accountable and someone to be accountable to, because there's that whole thing of not, you say you're going to do it, it just pushes you to do that. So why Righteous Rebels? I think I fell in love with your story when you were sharing the vision of what Righteous Rebels is. And at first, when I saw your shirt in India, it caught my eye because the BE is so big, and then there's this little L, and I wasn't sure at the beginning. But I get it. It's you're emphasizing the being and rebelling against all these stories that we tell ourselves, and we silence the parts of ourselves that really need to come out. And you know how much tension we create in our lives because we're not listening to that voice. We're not following our own being, and it just causes a lot of tension. So I love the premise, and it fits so nicely with my vision of building more creativity in people's lives, because that creativity is an act of rebellion, and I think it's just a beautiful thing. So that's what I'm so excited to be here.
I love it. I love that you say that creativity is an act of rebellion, and you know, someone listening may be like, "What?" But to like take that and get those things outside of you, but then to share them, like that's incredible.
Courage.
It takes a lot of courage. You said something like, my mind is spinning in 100 directions this morning, as you already know. I was thinking about one of the things that we're going to talk about a lot in Righteous Rebel is this space of living real. I hesitate to use the word authentic because I feel like it's been maybe overused a little bit, but to just be real. And somewhere I wrote a line about, do you remember that line, Leah? Oh, it's in the welcome letter for, you the listener might want to like have this welcome letter, by the way. It's for an amazing retreat that we're doing in Tobermory. But in there, I wrote something about us living. I don't even remember how to say it. Like, we're going to teach you. You think you're living in the real world, but we're going to teach you how to live real in the world. Did I say that right?
There's a reel is missing, I think, but you know what? We'll make it a post, Jen, and it'll be fun.
We will make it a post. Okay. And that right there, that's just like perfect example of, we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to, everything's not going to be perfect here, because that's just not the world, and it's not the world we live in. And we're going to let it be okay. We're going to talk about that kind of stuff. We have made an agreement together as business partners and as friends to have real, honest, open conversations, and as a way to, one, just foster relationship, but then also to foster just a beautiful space of loving creation, so that we're creating things not out of a fearful space or a space of like, oh, we gotta, we're trying to sell you something, but really a space of like, we want to teach you how to love yourself first and foremost. And so in order to do that, we're going to continue honest, open conversation with each other. And we're going to invite you into those conversations so that you have a space to speak your fears. You have a space to like work that crap out and start creating for yourself from this space of just like love and yumminess and all the good stuff. Leah, what do you have to, what has been your experience with that thus far? And what do you have to say about that?
That just brings up for me is standing in your light. I think when you feel you're still kind of working through your own darkness and maybe you may not even be aware of that. But it's that ickiness that you feel. And it's those moments where you're like, I'd love to do that one day. And then it's that one day that you're never going to get to. And I think when you can stand in your own light and have the courage to stand behind what you're making and what you want to do and be okay that it's messy and it's ugly and just come from a place of full on love and compassion for yourself. Like that's such a game changer. And I don't think it's something that we often talk about enough. And it's not about love yourself where you're starting, but it doesn't mean you have to stay there. Like it's like fertile ground, and it's a place to grow from and where you can plant your seeds for what you could grow into. And it's just a beautiful space, and you just don't know what's going to come out of that. And that's the fun part. It can be scary because you're like, oh, but that's why I love things like this, the live and unscripted, or, hey, give me this idea and let's see what happens out of it. And we've had a lot of that happen over the last few weeks. So
yes, we have.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. And it really brings it back to something that you and I have been talking about a lot, that we're going to present to the Righteous Rebel family. I mean, we're a community, but really we're a family. We're the family that we're choosing to be together, when you may not have those bonds in other places. We welcome you to our family. And it's this concept of cracking open, and how scary cracking open can be, especially when you have somebody who can see you, someone who hears you, someone who says to you, I got you. Like that can be so jarring. And for myself, I've been experiencing those cracking open moments. And I have moments where I like want to pull that shell back close and find a way to sew it back up, because it feels exposed. It feels very vulnerable. And at the same time, I know that that's the place that I have to go in order to like actually grow into the things that I have envisioned for myself and that I have envisioned for you as a family and a community. And I love that because we've chosen as a team to have those kinds of conversations and to support each other and create that space and bring it to you. We're just going to invite you into that cracking open process and say, yep, we know that it feels scary. Yep, we know that you probably will feel vulnerable and exposed, and we understand. We get it. And we individually have backgrounds that have taught us a lot of things through pain, a lot of things through sadness, and a lot of things through like just amazing experiences at the same time. And we're going to share those things with you. And we're going to do our best to normalize life, this like lived human experience that we get to have together individually, but also together, and to be able to talk about our experiences without the shame, without the guilt, and to just know that it doesn't mean a damn thing about us. It just means we went through some experiences that have molded and shaped us. So I appreciate, Leah, you bringing that up. And I just have this beautiful picture in my mind. Maybe I'll tell you about it later and you can draw it up for me. This is usually what happens. I'm like, I have this thing in my head and I share it. And then like a day later, she's like, hey, look what I did. um, but that's what I see for this is just this beautiful cracking open in the fertile ground that Leah just talked about, and the sprouting of me, the sprouting of Leah, the sprouting of you, and watching the beauty of the tree start to grow into its maturity, and all the awesome that comes with that.
Can I add something, Jen?
I would say, Leah, yeah, please do. I feel it.
So when you're saying that, I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed is catching one another playing small or challenging. That has been, and just taking time to celebrate in a space that's not competitive, but like, I'm genuinely happy for you. And, you know, it's just, it's so different. It's such a different energy. And it's so important to catch ourselves when we're wanting to go back into that shell. We're wanting to downplay our skills and our value, just because it's safer to live there than it is to stretch out and see what you're actually capable of. But that's really where the magic is. And
yeah, we think it's safer to live there.
Yeah, definitely.
Not really. So Leah, what is it that you feel like you have to, this is totally putting you on the spot. What is it that you want to, I was going to ask you what you feel like you have to offer, but that I'm not going to ask that question because I know what you have to offer. The question I'm going to ask is, what would you like to offer? What would you like to bring to the Righteous Rebel community?
I think energy. And just, I mean, you have an abundance of energy, but I want to encourage people to embrace that creative side of themselves. The one thing I hear all the time is, I'm not creative. Creativity is not for me. And we have this idea that creativity has to look a certain way, or that it's in the arts, but it's really in how you show up. And are you doing the things that you're curious about? Are you showing up in ways that feel scary for you? I mean, what we've been working on, whether it's building a retreat or looking at a website page or whatever it is, that's an act of creation. It's how you interact with people. It's how you cook your food. Like, what are you putting into it of yourself? That to me
is
it's
how you have a conversation.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. And that's the beauty of creativity. And I think when we don't use our creativity, it can metastasize and come out in ugly ways because it has no outlet, because that energy is there, and it's either going to create worry and stress and all those yucky feelings, or it can be used with intention and put towards something that you can, create, something that you can make. So I think what I really want to see is just having conversations, having a safe space to talk about the things that, we kind of want to, but we're not sure where it's okay to, and just challenge some of those beliefs that we've carried for so long, whether it's in your background, your childhood, or just in your everyday life. I mean, we're all just trying to figure out how to be a little more like ourselves, and yeah, just a space for being.
I love it. And I want to continue emphasizing that, that every day is an adventure. Adventures aren't just the things that you plan to go out and do somewhere outside of your living space or outside of yourself. Like, adventures are inside adventures as well. And adventures can be doing the dishes or doing the laundry or finding a way to create adventure every day in your world. And that's what I love about this coming together of the minds. Is Leah just laughs at me, and I wonder why she laughs at me. But it's this you'll hear us say a lot, Righteous Rebel, we have the be bold, be brave, be a rebel, but it's the place where adventure meets creativity. And those things just blend so beautifully together. And we're excited to assist you in bringing that out in yourself, to really start taking off the shades of your light and the peels of the onion and the shell of the seeds. Like, how many more of those do you want me to do? And to let your light shine, first for yourself. And again, then for your immediate, people, whether it's your family or maybe it's college roommates or whatever, and then taking it out as far out as you want to let it shine. And we're here to assist you in doing that. This is going to be really fun. This is going to be really fun.
Did you want to mention, just because we're nearing the end of the year and all the talk of the goals and resolutions and all
Wait,
those
did you just say goals and resolutions?
I know. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
You know that I do not like that.
I know. That's the point. I got to trigger you, get you talking.
I actually was going to bring it up, and this is scary. It's really scary. Like when she can read my mind. Way to make that playful. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. For those of you who don't know, I am not a fan, not even a little bit, of goals and New Year's resolutions and all of those things. I know, I hear you fighting and saying that, how am I supposed to get anything accomplished? And how am I ever supposed to be anything? I hear you. And we're going to talk about that. Not today. We're going to talk about that. And not at the first week, because everyone else does. And we like to be a little bit rebellious here. So if you'll hang tight with us, it will be probably the second week. Partly because we got a lot going on. We got a lot of things in creation that we're trying to get put together really quickly. Actually, it's put together. It's some of the back end stuff that we're getting put together so that when you sign up to come with us in February to Tobermory, Canada, we're ready for you. And guess what? We are so ready for you. And feel free to share it out. There's only 8 spots. I'm just so excited to hang out with 8 people in this most amazing place and to start talking and sharing about the things we've been talking about today. Resolutions and such being one of them. If you've already set them, fantastic. Fantastic. We support you in that. I support you in that. I may also just say, hold off a minute before you get just really into the grind of things. You brought it up, Leah. What do you have to say about that?
I just love the non-goals and the whole idea of being versus grinding. And I think, again, I bring it back to celebrating, instead of what didn't I do this year? What did I do? What did I get through this year? I know who did I be? Yeah, exactly. And I'm excited for that conversation, just because it was jarring to me at first, just because I've always, it was, what do you mean you don't do goals? That's all I do. And I think that's why, because I see why it can be a limitation and why it adds undue stress. Let's make it easy. How can we make this easy? But still have fun with it. I think, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm really excited to have that conversation. And for those of you who are on, share it out. Let people know that we're going to talk about this. And we're open to your questions. We're open to your thoughts, to your perceptions on things. And that's going to be another beautiful part of Righteous Rebel, is really just getting into what we believe, looking at maybe why we believe it, and is it ours? And how our world can look different when we stop looking through everyone else's lenses and everyone else's beliefs. Now, see, I'm going to go right down the rabbit hole. So I'm going to end right there. I'm just going to end it right there. And the fact that I do have to go out the door to a client. But today I couldn't wait. I actually kind of threw this on Leah a little bit by surprise. We got on our meeting this morning and I'm like, are you ready for the live broadcast? And she was like, what? I said, didn't you read the post? But because we had cute Luba on there, that was a little bit distracting, and super excited to have that conversation next week on the 4th with our friend Luba. I cannot say her last name, and I'm not even going to try because I don't want to slaughter it, and she will say it far more beautifully than I can, and there are reasons for that, which I will not reveal today. So if you want to hear the beautifulness of her last name, join us on the 4th of January. Any parting thoughts? Like it's December 30th. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. We're getting ready. Leah, parting thoughts.
I think I'm just excited. I'd really like to invite you to just, if you have something on your mind, if something resonated with you, let us know. If there's a topic you want to cover, comment on it. Like, we want this community to be for you and to be a place where you look forward to coming to, where it can be fun and light, but also inspiring and makes you think about things a little differently. So I invite you to just be a part of the family.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for that. As I was thinking, like what would be my last remarks on this broadcast? And I really think that as the end of the year is coming really quickly, like, we can make the statement like, I'll see you next year. You remember when we used to do that? But really, I think the parting comment is, one, I love you. And I'm really grateful that you choose to hang with us. And for those of you who have been with us since the beginning or have slowly trickled in, thank you. Thank you for being here. Why I burn the pancakes and why I'm fumbling on the ground and learning how to do this process. And to be able to be real about it, because I know that you're going to go through your own processes and there's realness in there. And I want you to be able to share the real as well. So thank you for hanging in there through the fumbling, messy processes. And I'm really excited. Like, share us out, bring other people into the family who you feel like that there is value here for them. And there's value here for a lot of people. You will hear us talk a lot in regards to women. That would probably be our main focus, but we also are going to have a corporate arm of this where we're going into businesses and teaching adventure and creativity. So if you have businesses, if you own one yourself, reach out. We would love to come and present or put on an adventure for your company. We're also going to talk about men because, they're half the population. And if you're a man in this group, we welcome you. We welcome you with open arms. We welcome your perspective as well. And then my last parting thought is just this. As we near the end of the year and there's going to be a lot of celebrating going on, just make good choices. Make good choices. Make sure you remember what you've done. I know that we love you and we're really excited to see you in the next year I don't know if we'll do another live broadcast or we'll just kick that off with the Luba live and unscripted, who is not a candlestick maker, but we might be able to convince her to go into that by the end of our conversation. All right. We love you. Remember, be bold, be brave, be a rebel, and we'll see you real soon.